You have a plan, you have a goal.
Yeah, and that's kind of always been the goal, is to get a location, make it run well, and franchise it. Because that's where you can see kind of exponential growth, which is the nice part of owning your own business, that there's that potential where you don't have that when you're an employee. Yeah. So it kind of makes those hard parts that I'm going through right now hopefully worth it in the future.
Welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast, everyone. I'm thrilled to have Justin Frank, the owner of Bread Cheese Eatery, back with us today. You might remember Justin from our last interview in September 2021, where he shared with us his experiences navigating the challenges of the pandemic and how he managed to keep his business afloat. Despite the turbulent times, Justin and his business partner persisted, and now Justin has an exciting announcement to share with us. During the last interview, Justin spoke about his upbringing in Burbank, his many jobs, including giving tours overseas. That's pretty awesome. He also talked about his work at the Moonlight Theater here in Vista and many other insightful topics. Today, we'll dive deeper into his journey since we last spoke and talk about what has changed. We'll find out how Justin has persevered through the challenges and what it takes to stay successful in a constantly evolving industry. So grab a cup of coffee or some wine, sit back, relax, enjoy an inspiring conversation with Justin Frank, the owner of Bread Cheese Eatery, as we explore what the future holds in this episode of Same Business, Different Day. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great intro. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
I want to start with a cheers.
Right on,
Good
man.
to
Cheers.
see you.
Oh, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. We just finished our
push-up challenge.
Our push-up challenge.
Birthday push-up challenge.
Yeah. I'm still catching my breath.
Me too.
But that's awesome, man. So, how you doing though, man?
Life is good.
Yeah.
Good and busy though.
Good.
Yeah.
Got the new baby.
We got a new baby. I have a 2.5 and a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you believe though, it's been since September 21 when we first sat down.
Yeah, I mean, I literally thought it was in 2022, but it happens.
Yeah, it's all
Time
good.
flies.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It really
and I
does.
mean, we were in the middle of the pandemic and stuff. You
Yeah.
know? You remember that first episode though?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
It was good. So I got some things that I remember from that episode. I mean, because we had really good feedback. One of my favorite pieces of information that you shared and was something that I'm kind of passing on to my daughter too. As I told you, she's going away to school at University of San Francisco this coming fall. And you said, go away to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really think that was something that was important to you in your life and upbringing.
I really do. Yeah, I stand by that. I want my kids to go away to school, even though the thought of them even leaving 18 years from now is like, oh my God, it's so quick. But yeah, it really was life-changing and has made a difference in a big way in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got to travel too with doing the tours and all that stuff.
Yeah, being the tour guide. So I've seen a lot of the world and happy to be here in San Diego, Carlsbad, California, Vista, California, you know.
Yeah, you live in a place where a lot of people want
We're
to
winning. We're winning. All of us here.
Yeah, as long as you can afford some property here.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You don't want to, get evicted, be out on the streets in San Diego.
Yeah.
I guess there's worse places to be homeless, but
that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's why we have so many of them.
One of the other things that I really remember is when you mentioned, like, even when you're doing quote unquote grunt work, you keep a smile on your face.
I'm just a happy person, it's like, and I think it's part of that, like, things could always be worse, it's like when you put it into perspective of what other people are doing with their life or where they're at in the world, it's like, hey, my life is pretty dang good,
Right. Yeah. You also, one of the things you mentioned was being better off working for yourself than for others. You always were aspiring to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I stand by that one.
You still
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, There's definitely some ups and downs.
2 years, the 2 years ago, you is still the same. You
yeah.
haven't grown much.
I guess not. No, but I'm happy.
Yeah, no, you should be happy. No, it was great advice then, and it's
For
still
sure.
great advice.
And that's not for everyone, it's because there is ups and downs and like the pandemic and the slow season, and we just had someone quit, so we just put a ton of work. It was our catering manager, so we just put a ton of work on Devin and I right when Moonlight opened and when we got the big announcement. We're getting a new restaurant.
Yes,
So we closed
sir.
escrow on a new restaurant.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll do a cheers to that.
Yeah,
Cheers.
absolutely, man.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
We closed escrow on May 1st, and our catering manager put in his 2 weeks on May 1st. No, 2 weeks before. So May 1st was his last day, and then Moonlight opened. So now we got to hire and train new catering managers. So that's a perfect example of like the highs and lows,
Right.
that all of a sudden Devin and I have a bunch more work, so our family life suffers a little bit. Like the wives are putting in more work, putting the kids at bed, and Devin and I are working events that we thought our catering manager was going to do.
Right.
Whereas if you just have a job, you're like, hey, I'm just Monday through, not depending on your job, but it's a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked a little in depth about having good people and trying to keep those same good
For
people,
sure.
but you can't be guaranteed that everybody's going to stay with you forever.
For sure. And our guy, like we loved working with him, and he left. He put in his 2 weeks and fulfilled them and left on great terms, but he just got offered a better job that we couldn't match, and no shame in, in anything. That's great. We want him to succeed in life. We would have loved to at least have him through the summer. The timing wasn't great, but that happens. It's part of the game.
What's interesting about that, it's a conversation that we have on this show at times when we talk about being an entrepreneur, and it kind of goes back to one of the things that you said, better working for yourself than for others. Well, he's working for someone else, just like he was working for you.
Yeah.
But his decision was as a boss.
For sure.
You understand?
For sure.
He's still
he's the boss of his own person. Yeah. He's like, I'm running this show. Hey, it could be way better over here. I get that, And that's why we said, hey, totally. We get it.
And so that's why we kind of teach these same principles, even if you're working for somebody else or not. And yes, sure, we love to promote entrepreneurship. We'd love to see people out there starting their own businesses. That's kind of what this show was based on and what it's all about. But be the boss of your own self as well. Learn from these principles and take it other places. So not celebrating necessarily that you lost somebody, but you got to applaud him for
sure. We're happy for him. And I think Devin and I and anyone who's a good entrepreneur, just like anything that changes a new opportunity, like we had a catering manager as one position, and now we're going to have it as 2 positions, because he did prep work and he ran events. So now we're going to have an events person and a prep person.
Yeah.
Just 2 part-time people, so then we can double up and, we can it's a little bit more easier to have people like have varying schedules if they're part-time. If it's a full-time person, you got to keep them busy all the time, or if business is slow, you're still paying them. Whereas when they're...
That's a good business lesson. I really like that because, you just made a decision that if we split this into 2 jobs, then even though we lost somebody and it hurts to lose somebody, but now we have some more flexibility between the 2 positions. So,
and then we can easily hire another catering person, or events person, where we might not need another prep person.
Yeah. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about other things that happened in that show. One of my favorite things, and it had me smiling because I was listening to it while I was on the bike this morning, right?
Yeah.
I challenged you.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah. So there was one point, and you made this bold statement, and I still respect your statement. You said, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to a different industry.
Yeah.
The restaurant industry is too hard. I gotta be HR. I gotta work weekends. I gotta, there was just too much. I gotta be the chef sometimes. There's so many things and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But my challenge was, I know a lot of restaurateurs, and there's something to you guys where you're always looking for another spot. You're always looking for, hey, we can do this. I'll just open another one and move to a different corner, whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't know, but you're kind of right. But no, I think I would change industry.
Yeah.
But now you found a new spot.
Well, yeah, I mean, so it's still going well.
It's still going well.
Yeah, bread and cheese is still going well.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're like, oh, let's try this. We're just growing. So yeah, we're happy with how things are going. But I still think if bread and cheese like took a turn and wasn't doing well, I think I would find a different career.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you've been in the restaurant industry a long time.
One thing I've learned is you have multiple lives within your life, you know, like your college life and then, your after college life. A lot of it has to do with life changes of getting married or getting a new job or moving or whatever.
Yes.
But, you have multiple lives. You're not get stuck to the same career your whole life. And I've been doing this for 20 years and I would love to do it for another 20 if it's with bread and cheese.
Yeah.
I don't want to start over. I don't want to work for someone else in the restaurant industry. If bread and cheese doesn't make it, I'm going to work in insurance or podcasting.
You're hired.
Awesome. Well, no, I want to start my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Competition.
Actually, no, maybe
Okay.
I'd just work for you.
So, tell me though about. I want to hear more about the new location. I want to hear more about what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. So it's in Oceanside on South Coast Highway. It's where Ben and Esther's Vegan Jewish Deli used to be.
Okay.
Right across from the Poorhouse. And
okay.
Yeah. So we're really excited. We're actually adding a second brand. It's called And Breakfast Burritos. So we're going to do that in the mornings from 7 to 11. And then from 11 to 10, we're going to do Bread and Cheese Eatery.
So you're going to be open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Hello, friends. I'm Joe Samo. I'm an attorney in San Diego, and I'm the host of Run It By My Lawyer. It's a great podcast where you will learn a lot about the law, and it is very entertaining, if I say so myself. And you could get it for free anywhere you get your podcasts, and you could follow us on Instagram at Run It By My Lawyer.
This podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. Owning a business is hard work. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it every single day. You need a partner who understands the ins and outs of insuring small to medium-sized businesses. For over 40 years, our California Property and Casualty Insurance Agency has insured businesses just like yours. We've seen it all, and we've learned a thing or two about what it takes to keep your business protected. That's why we offer free policy assessments. We'll take a look at your policy and let you know if there are any gaps in your coverage. Let us help you to protect what you've worked so hard to build. YourInsurancePlace.com.
Hi, I'm Rachel Belt, host of Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast. Join me as I sit down with Vista's movers, shakers, and changemakers. Let's move Vista forward with Velocity.
That's the goal. Yeah, we'll see if we can get enough staff and product and hopefully enough customers to keep it afloat.
Yeah. It's a great section.
It's super busy, and I just have had a passion for breakfast burritos kind of since my Burbank days. There's an amazing breakfast burrito place that I went to growing up, and everyone in my high school did, and everyone in Burbank did, and it's still there. And when I go to Burbank, I still go there.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Corner Cottage. But
if
anyone in Burbank goes there, they know. But so I wanted us to be able to maximize the space by being able to be open for breakfast.
Yeah.
We kind of followed our concept and we just kind of do one thing and we just try and do it well. So we do grilled cheese and breakfast burritos. So it's the same breakfast burrito and then just a different protein. So it's eggs, cheese, garlic tater tots, and a nice tortilla. And then you can add your bacon or your sausage or whatever, but it's the same process and it's.
Are you still doing the sauce on the outside of the tortilla too, like you do
No,
with the cheese?
not for that.
That's it. I was just saying,
that's a good
really
idea.
streamlining.
But so kind of the thing that makes it different, now that I started talking about it, I got to, give it the whole full explanation.
Sure.
So we created this process, and I'll be honest, it's kind of similar to Corner Cottage. But instead of, a lot of breakfast burritos will be eggs with melted cheese on it and potatoes mixed into it. Whereas ours is kind of a mixture of like cheese, eggs, and potato. It's a cheese, eggs, potato mixture. So it's kind of like a scramble almost, but we just got the consistency perfect. It's like gooey and warm, and then big chunks of your favorite protein. We get our tortillas from a spot here in Vista. It's called the La Tortilleria Reyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get our tortillas
they're right
from them.
around the corner.
Yeah, we get our tortillas from them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're amazing burritos.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, very super excited about it.
Yeah. And the grilled cheese thing, I mean, it's already a hit.
We have it dialed in. We have our menu. We have our system. So we're just going to keep that. We do or 7 grilled cheeses. We're going to add a couple salads and then fries, pretzels.
Are you gonna do some salads too?
Yeah, kind of like we do at Moonlight.
Okay.
Yeah, just when it's easy for a family of 4. Like let's get a couple grilled cheese and we'll get a salad. Just throw it on, makes it a little healthier.
Yeah.
They're easy for us to do. We just do a Caesar and an Italian.
Beer and wine?
We're gonna do it. We haven't filed the paperwork yet, but it's a small place, so it won't be a big part of our sales, but we will definitely add that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so how are things going at the Moonlight?
Moonlight's going great. We just opened 2 weeks ago. We're starting our 3rd week. Jesus Christ Superstar, and the production is amazing.
I bet.
People are loving it. Got good reviews. And you said you're going, right?
I would go.
Oh,
I would love to go.
you want to go?
Yeah.
What day? It's Wednesday through Saturday this week. Any day you want.
Okay. Saturday's my birthday, so I'm
There
gonna
you
skip
go.
that one.
Well, I'm going to be there tonight. If you want to come tonight.
I'm interested.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll talk
you, your
about that.
wife, your kids, whoever you want, your friends.
I'm definitely interested.
Cool.
Okay. We'll
Perfect.
talk about that. So, but that deal with the Moonlight is just so amazing.
Yeah,
that,
that definitely elevated our business and took it.
How did you get it? How did you?
I
I
think
mean,
we
because you're
kinda-
the one vendor there
Yeah.
at this beautiful theater that's always packed, 2,000 people seating.
Yep,
That you
yep.
said, and you're the place that they
We're the
stop
people.
for
Yeah.
food.
We kind of, I don't know if I'd say lucked out, but there was a RFP, a request for proposal from the city of Vista to put a food vendor in there because the previous food vendor just wasn't making it through COVID. They weren't going to be a company anymore, type of thing.
I see.
So we put in a proposal, and I know a couple other people put in proposals, and it kind of came down to us and one other company. I don't even know who it was, but they came and did a site visit at our old restaurant and met with me and Devin, and we told them our plan and blah blah, and they liked it and signed the contract.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
know, one of the other things, right? Okay, so here we're talking about the variations of running a business, and that's why I really applaud and respect you as an entrepreneur, because you've done them. Well, not all of the ones that I'm about to list, but you know the ins and outs of each one. And we discussed this in the last conversation as well. So basically, being a vendor or a food tent or a food truck or a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And you were like, stay away from food
No
trucks.
food trucks. Yeah.
But the fact that you've kind of run the gamut here and got a good understanding of how each one of them works, I mean, with the situation that you've got at Moonlight, why do a brick and mortar?
Well, I mean, it just for expansion,
Mhm.
Devin and I could probably just run Moonlight and
And go to festivals. And,
yeah, just keep our current business and be fine, but we're not gonna retire early on that. We're not gonna be able to put our kids through some nice college with that. We'll just be able to pay our bills and make a little bit of money.
Sure.
So to get the business where we want to be, Ray Kroc McDonald's status.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a big fan of them, but I'm just saying, we want to expand. We want to have multiple locations. And the end goal is to franchise.
Mhm.
So all these things have just been another step in that direction of owning our own brick and mortar. That this one is the goal is that it's going to be the flagship. We hired a designer. We're going to make it look all cool and fancy,
Yeah.
and then hopefully cross our fingers, it starts doing well. And then the goal is to franchise it. And then potential franchisees would come in and see it and see our operations and see our amazing big breakfast burritos, killing it in the mornings. And then boom, switch to lunchtime. And now we're killing it with grilled cheese and even into the late night. That's why we're going to be open late. That's the goal. See what happens.
I like it. Well,
yeah.
See what happens, sure, but you have a plan, you have a goal.
Yeah, and that's kind of always been the goal is to get a location, make it run well, and franchise it. 'Cause that's where you can see kind of exponential growth, which is the nice part of owning your own business, that there's that potential where you don't have that when you're an employee.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes those hard parts that I'm going through right now hopefully worth it in the future.
Yeah. Have you seen others franchise in this model that you're using in any way?
I mean, I do have a friend that's franchised a restaurant. It's a little bit of a different style restaurant. It's like a full service restaurant, whereas we're more fast casual. But I mean, I've gone to a lot of franchise expos and I've talked to a lot of people, and I think the main thing is to just have a strong brand and a successful, business. So then people people are buying franchises every day. So if you can say, hey, look at this one, and there's someone that happens to love breakfast burritos or grilled cheese, and they're like, oh, I'd love to run this business. It's a fun business. I like the look, feel, atmosphere, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So are you out at the festivals now as well still?
For
or
sure,
you
for
guys
sure.
are-
Yeah. So we've hired a couple new leads, catering leads, to replace our catering manager.
Mhm.
And they're in the kind of training process. So Devin or I are still going to the events with them, but we're like training them. Here's how you do this. Here's what you do if this goes wrong. Here's blah, 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 all the things.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we're kind of getting towards the end of the training process where they're looking good, feeling good. They're remembering all the things. So
Yeah.
Devin and I think over the next couple of weeks, we'll start like, okay, you guys got this now. And then that's perfect timing because now we're going to be focusing on opening the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, man. You've got such a good business mind and really I think you kind of have an approach where you kind of simplify it, which is pretty cool.
You kind of have to. You know?
Really? Why?
I mean, it's kind of like my to-do list, like every day it's kind of overwhelming. I'm like, oh my God, this person forgot to clock in. I got to edit that. I got to respond to this person about an event. I got to respond to this person about a catering. We got to do the schedule, and rent, all the things and blah, 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 blah. So it feels overwhelming, but then you simplify it. So I just make a to-do list, I just write it down on my little desk and I can start doing things, crossing it off. And then it's like, okay, I got some things done. I'm feeling good,
Yeah.
and something bad happens, like your catering manager quitting on 2 weeks right before your we're like, okay, what do we got to do? Okay, we got to find some new people. We got to start the hiring process, training process. So within a couple of days, we just started our to-do list. Okay, we got to do this, this, this. And simplifying it just made it doable, because at first it's like, oh my God, what do we have to do?
Mhm.
And you kind of don't have any choice.
Right.
I feel like when it's a job, you can just be like, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to pass it on or something. Whereas we just can't, we
Yeah.
have to find someone, hire someone, train someone, move on, or just cancel all of our catering events because Devin and I can't do them.
Mhm.
We have families and we have Moonlight and this other thing. So we have to keep kind of moving forward and figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that perspective. Really, I really do. I guess you're right. Like you said, though, you kind of don't have any choice.
Yeah.
So, then from that point, it's all about your outlook, right?
Right.
And
This is the boat we're on. Like, let's figure it out. We got to
but
learn to
that's
fish.
also why it goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, which is just gotta smile.
Totally.
Just smile through it. You don't have any. You're gonna have to do it anyway. So you want to do
no
it
one wants to work
mean?
with someone in a bad attitude. If your boss is in a bad attitude, that makes you hate your job.
Mhm.
If you hate your job, we're going to have more people quitting.
Yeah.
And they're going to quit just because they don't like their job. Whereas we don't, knock on wood, I don't think have that problem. It's usually people found a better job or they moved or like things that just life things,
Yeah.
which you can't do anything about that.
So what's it going to be like? I'm sure you probably already started the process. What's it been like? I've heard stories about the difficulty with hiring in the industry now.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember saying this last time, but knock on wood again. Like we've been lucky. I think we are a good employer. I think people like working for us, and I think we're kind of like a fun brand.
Yeah.
Like we're out at the events and we have our own music, and our staff is happy, and music festivals and beer festivals, and everyone that's coming up is happy. So it's like
Yeah.
a good environment. I think if we're getting people that are currently in the industry, if they're in a food truck, they're like really happy to not be in a food truck.
Mm.
Do you ever see the food truck employees? They're all like hunched over, talking to you from this angle.
Yeah,
Their
the
backs all
back's
hurt.
probably hurt,
And it's
yeah.
hot in there. Whereas like we're outside, we have the tent up, so there's a breeze, and we're listening to music, and like it's a whole fun environment. So
To all my food truck friends,
sell
Justin
it.
does not hate you. He brings this up every episode, but it's okay.
But for example,
He
there's
said, sell it.
There's a chicken guy that I've done a couple events with. Like a year and a half ago, he had a food truck, and I was kind of talking to him. Maybe he listened to this episode, but he sold his food truck, and now he has 2 tents.
Okay.
So he can be at 2 events at a time instead of 1, and he's less
saved a lot of money.
tons of costs associated with a food truck. So yeah, I stick by that
Hey,
one
Justin,
too.
what is your opinion of food trucks?
I mean, it's kind of nice because it it's my competition and they keep going out of business, you know, like some food trucks are still around, but I know they're not killing it, you know, even owning a fleet of food trucks, just your expenses are ridiculous.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. No, but I actually
I
do
need a
understand.
sip of water.
I appreciate and understand what you're saying, though. I think you found the business model that works.
For sure. Yeah, we have like it's low food costs because like nothing goes bad really.
Mhm.
We don't do avocado, we don't do tomato, like things that go bad quickly for those reasons.
Mhm.
It's really easy to train our staff, you know, and we have a decent markup on it, you know. So yeah, the business model seems to do well. So that's why I think franchising is a real possibility and the end goal.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You're a
on
good
everything.
self-esteem booster, man. You just spend all this time telling me how great I am. I appreciate
You're
it.
killing them, man. That's why I brought you back, because this is what we like to do with the return guests, right? It's a little bit more casual conversation, but what we're really trying to do is say, okay, how are you still making it, right?
Yeah.
We celebrated your success the first episode.
Anyone can be in business for a couple of years, but over time it becomes more impressive.
And we were in COVID when you were, you know, at that point in time, and you were still doing well. And then here we are now getting ready to open up a new location. I'm really happy for you. That's why, you know, I'm giving you the compliments. And then you still have goals, right? Because that's what you also look at with some business owners. It's like, well, what gets you up in the morning? You are already successful. You are already killing it. You are already doing it. You know, have somebody else run it. You go play golf or whatever. And you're like, I want to open a new location.
For sure.
And me and Devin are going to put our heads down and make things happen. Shout out to Devin, by the way. You haven't come to see us yet. But
yeah.
Devin's
the man. He's my best friend, business partner, second marriage almost, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Awesome,
the amount of time we're connecting, you know?
I love it, man. And you need somebody like that to have your back and
for sure
bounce things off of. And obviously, he was comfortable with the breakfast burrito situation.
So it's actually kind of a funny story. Like I was like, oh, we should do breakfast, and he was into it, but he was like, we should do breakfast sandwiches because it fits more with bread and cheese. And I was just like pretty strongly against it. And he does like we do something that I think works really well. Is like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this for you? You know, and then I was like, I want to be flexible, but kind of like a 10 out of 10. And he was like, okay, like for me, it's like a 7. Like I'm fine with breakfast burritos or grilled cheese or, you know, breakfast sandwiches. So I kind of, I don't want to say I won because like he's totally on board, you know, like we're a partnership and, you know, sometimes it's not always 50-50. You know, at the end, if we have different ideas, someone has to let the other person, okay, if it's a 10 out of 10 important for you, it's not as important for me. Like, let's do that. And I think now, like, I think he's more on board than he was before. But yeah,
well, you've got the branding down on it because you studied marketing, you know your way, and the way that you've put that together. You just showed me the logo. It's already beautiful, right? It makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right. And so, but it does sound like you said, like a second marriage, right? And so, but you're right though, in one important other business lesson that I like about partnerships, which is that sometimes it can be 90-10 or 60-40 or whatever, but it can't always be that weighted, right?
For sure.
Sometimes it's 50-50 and sometimes it goes the other way. Then you still got a good relationship. But it can't always be 50-50 either. Like we just agree on everything.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't make, that's just not reality, you know? Like, and also sometimes he's sick or I'm sick or my family needs something, his family needs something, and we're understanding and we've both had to sacrifice, well, okay, you know, family, I can't do this because you know, Devin's on vacation, or Devin can't do something with his family because I'm on vacation, you know? That's just another one of those kind of sacrifices of being a business owner as opposed to not, you know?
Right. It has its privilege.
For sure. I mean, it's kind of crazy though. It's like, I'll be kind of upfront. Like we paid ourselves, you know, $50,000 to $70,000 every year. You know, we've been in business 7 years. So let's just say the top end of that, you know, that's $70,000 a year. But had I gotten a job where I was making $100,000 a year, in opportunity costs, I'm losing $30,000 a year, right? So over 7 years, that's $210,000. I'm kind of, I don't want to say behind, but less income I've had over the 7 years, right? As opposed to if I found a job for $100,000. So in order for that to balance out, like we kind of have to grow exponentially to catch up almost. Catch up. I don't like to say that either because it makes it sound like you're comparing it. But, you know, it is real money that I don't have or from making this decision. Sure. And sometimes extra headaches that I do have.
Yeah.
Right. So in order for that to be a payoff, you know, hopefully then the business does grow to a point where like, okay, sweet, we're making tons of money, whatever that is to anyone, but a lot more than we're making now, and also enough to make up that $210,000.
Love it. That's a good math lesson. I like that. That's a good business math lesson. I will say though, what would you give up for that extra $30,000 a year?
Right.
You know, you know what's funny that you said it cracked me up re-listening to it. Is that you said TPS reports. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But you know, not there are some things that I would give up for $30,000 a year is all I'm saying.
For sure.
I want to get to that money. I want to have that money.
Sure,
It's hard cost. I want that money.
That's kind of the intangible of like work-life balance. You know, like we're kind of slow in January, we're kind of slow in December, and we're okay with it. We're not like hustling. Whereas if you have a job, your job is going to make you work. Even if the business is slow, they're going to find something for you to do. Whereas we're like,
or they might fire you, and that's stressful as hell.
For sure, yeah. So yeah, it's like we kind of are like, hey, we're taking some time off. We already know we're slow in the slow time, and we're busy in the busy time. But at the end of the year, we're still in a good spot.
Yeah.
So we don't have to stress and find work, and we stop taking small events just to like keep some money flowing. We're like, okay, cool. Like, so we have a couple months off, you know, more or less like a teacher. You know, we still have to work here and there, but it definitely slows down a lot, and that's probably going to go away with the restaurant now. But you know. That's right.
But you know what, man? Oceanside's got such a great food culture, man.
Yeah, I think we're set to do well there. We found a good spot for us.
No doubt about it, man.
Cross our fingers.
Yeah. Well, more than that, man. Congratulations, man. It's going to happen for you, man. The
Appreciate
success
it.
is here, man. So do me a favor.
Yeah.
Tell us the contact information, how everybody can reach you. And even the address to the new location.
Perfect. I'm going to look in the camera here.
Yeah.
The best way to reach us is on our website, breadandcheeseeatery.com or breadandcheesecatering.com. You can also go on our Facebook or our Instagram. You can also call us. It's my personal cell phone. I'm going to change it, but for now, 619-709-6016. And yeah, come to the Moonlight and you'll see us in Oceanside. It's 1904 South Coast Highway, Oceanside.
I love it.
And then hire us for catering at your work or office or home. Birthday parties, whatever. Bat mitzvahs. Yeah, we're doing a bat mitzvah coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Love it. Well, we appreciate you being on once again.
Of course, man.
Justin
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully I'm back in 2 more years with 10 locations and 6 franchisees.
Yeah, you'll be a little
something.
bit taller.
Oh, man. If I get taller, that'd be great.
All things
taller, thinner,
it's
more hair.
You're going to be taller because of the wallet you're sitting on.
Okay. I like that. I'll take it.
You guys know how to reach us. SameBizPod, SameBizPod. We really appreciate you listening. We really appreciate all of the feedback. Keep the comments coming. Keep subscribing. Keep passing on the information to everybody else, letting them know about all of our shows. And we're just happy to be here with you guys, sharing with you every couple of weeks. Thanks to all the staff at A Different Day Radio, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.